And now at 5, a protest at the Indiana State House.
What these ministers wanted the governor to hear hours before he delivers his first State of the State address.
Pothole season is back in full force here in Indianapolis, and those notorious craters are popping up again. Coming up, what the city is doing to tackle the problem and how you can help.
Rain is on the way. I'll have the timeline in your Thursday forecast. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Now at 5, Indiana Governor Mike Braun is set to give his first State of the State tonight. This as Indiana's 52nd elected governor.
Now, the address comes after a busy 3 weeks for Braun, where we've seen him roll out his agenda, sign several executive orders, and propose his budget. And some of his actions have come with quite a bit of pushback.
Our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker has been covering this, joining us now live from the State House to explain about some of this pushback. Emily.
Well, Ann and Felicia, Governor Braun is expected to give his State of the State address in 2 hours, and he's expected to touch on a number of topics, including his push to lower property taxes and the cost of health care for Hoosiers. He'll likely also talk about some of those executive orders that he's rolled out in the past several weeks, and those executive orders were exactly what some Indianapolis pastors and members of the African American community wanted to talk to him about today when they went to his office. Take a look.
We believe that this is our house. We believe we should have a key, but we've been excluded, so we're going to knock on the door.
They knocked on the door to the governor's office, walked inside, and then waited.
The governor will be out in about 15-20 minutes.
Members of the African American faith community, along with some state lawmakers. While they waited, they prayed.
We ask today that you cause this leader, Governor Braun, to strengthen his resolve around the reality that he is the governor of all the people in Indiana.
Many here feel like Indiana's new governor needs a reminder of that after he announced an executive order removing diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts from state agencies.
We're not asking for a hand up. We're asking for an even playing field. And we've been on an uneven playing field for over 400 years.
Those gathered were also upset about the governor's budget proposal that does not include $5 million for Martin University, money that was part of the last budget. The governor's office tells 13 News that the last budget that included funding for Martin University was a one-time deal.
He needs to take a visit to Martin University, see the young people and the adults that are being helped and being educated there.
Students like 67-year-old Neveline Burks, who's a freshman at Martin University studying psychology.
I have a 4.0 grade average, and I plan on succeeding. I must succeed.
This is why we're here.
Many who gathered here today are Martin University alums, professors, and Board of Trustee members themselves, including Democratic State Representative John Bartlett.
You have to live in my skin to understand and go through what I've gone through in this life to understand how it feels as a black man. So, I'm not here to slam the governor. I want the governor to tell me, make me know why it was the right thing to do. Make me know that.
After about 30 minutes, Governor Braun came out after a meeting with Republican leaders in the House and Senate.
So, thanks for coming in here. I'm going to get a meeting scheduled for as long as you'd want to talk about the issues. We'll accept scheduling a meeting with you. I will listen. I will be reasonable. Let's take you at your word.
Now, that meeting is scheduled for next Monday afternoon, and some of the same folks that you saw in that story there, they're going to be coming back to the State House tonight, not to attend the State of the State, but to attend a unity rally that was organized by the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus. That's a caucus made up of 16 lawmakers from the House and Senate. They've organized this unity rally to draw attention to what they believe are some policies from the Braun administration they believe harm minority communities. So some of those lawmakers will be at that rally and also will not be attending the State of the State. That rally is set to begin at 6 o'clock. The governor's State of the State address taking place an hour after at 7. Ann, Felicia.
All right, Emily Longnecker reporting live from the State House tonight. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you know that that after that conversation there in the governor's office today, Governor Braun's administration sent 13 News a statement on this issue. It says, in part, Martin University is a private university that received a one-time allotment in the last budget cycle.
It goes on to say the president of Martin University informed the governor's office that the university knew it was one-time funding. They did not ask for additional funding and does not expect to be included in this budget. And Governor Braun will deliver his first State of the State address tonight. You can see it here live at 7 on Channel 13. Because of the State of the State, Wheel of Fortune will air on MeTV at 7. That's on Channel 13.3.
Also at the State House today, teens and young adults who spent some time in foster care got a chance to meet and interact with lawmakers and also suggest some improvements to Indiana law.
The group Foster's Success helped them connect during their annual day at the State House.
Today, the older foster youth got a chance to share their foster care experiences and also pitch some very important policy changes. And one of the young ladies that we spoke with tells us that they certainly would like to see a survey created for all youth to take after they leave one placement and then head to the next.
We want to mandate it because not everyone gets the opportunity to talk about what happened in their last home. So everyone getting that space gives them a platform to just speak about it. It makes them feel cared for, seen, and heard.
Foster Success is the state's only nonprofit dedicated to older foster youth as they age out of the state system. And developing tonight, the White House now rescinding a memo about freezing most federal loans and grants. The Office of Management and Budget sent the memo directing federal agencies to temporarily pause federal financial assistance. A federal judge then blocked the order minutes before it was to go into effect. And now the White House press secretary says while the memo is rescinded, the president's executive order reviewing the use of federal funds is still in effect.
Happening right now, Pothole Central. These are giant craters and they are popping up all over Indianapolis right now. Cars can be seen dodging them left and right. You might be one of those drivers. Plus, this freeze and thaw cycle is actually not really helping. Tonight, our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick is on Pothole Patrol, and she explains what the city is doing to tackle the annoying problem.
It's that time again. Too familiar sound.
Oh man, they rough. I'm ready for them to go.
You guessed it. Pothole season is back in Indianapolis.
Fill them up.
Currently, there are more than 4,000 potholes reported in Indianapolis, and those are only the ones people have sent in. On Wednesday, we alone found several craters on Keystone near 25th Street, and even more along Hillside Avenue, forcing some cars to swerve into the other lane. And if you hit one, it's not cheap. Just ask Austin Kurkowski, who just whacked one on College.
But big enough that, it sounded like I need to look at my car.
It's why Indy DPW crews are taking advantage of the warmer weather, catching up on the long list of pesky potholes. At 6, we'll show you some of the areas they are tackling first. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
And Indy DPW says the #1 thing people can do right now is report the potholes. That way crews know where to go. So we have placed a link to the Mayor's Action Center right now on WTHR.com. Anne Marie was just telling us about her pothole.
Pothole story.
You got to report it, lady.
I know. Well, it was so large that you're kind of like, you don't see it till you come right upon it.
Yes.
And then you don't want to go into it because that can damage your car. But then if you swerve to avoid it, then who knows what you're going to go with.
Other traffic.
Right. Survived,
Okay,
fortunately. But, that's happening to everyone all the time now.
And the weather isn't helping because we're going to add rain to the mix. And so the rain gets stuck in those potholes. And then the next time it freezes, that rain expands. Yes, and causes those potholes to get bigger. It's just part of living in Indiana. But as Felicia mentioned, report them so we can get them fixed. Temperatures right now in the 40s for most of us, 45 in Noblesville and Greensburg. We have 46 at Morris Reservoir. 46 Bunker Hill, and lots of sunshine across central Indiana. Pacers at home hosting the Pistons. It is bobblehead night, and the Tip-off is at 7 o'clock this evening. As folks head in, temperatures still very mild, close to 40 degrees. You'll need the sunglasses for a couple of hours early tomorrow. Just jacket weather, but then grab the umbrella. Anytime after lunchtime, rain will be moving in. You can see it here with Future Track 13. Dry to start, so no issues for the morning drive, but early afternoon the rain moves in. This will have an impact for the late afternoon, evening commute tomorrow. I'll continue the local timeline and let you know how much rain in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Angela. Well, don't forget, the weather is ever changing, and you can track the rain that's expected to move into central Indiana tomorrow if you have our live Doppler 13 weather app. Go get it. It's a free download. You can get it in your phone's app store.
There we go. All right, on to more news this evening. Tonight, an Anderson police officer charged with child solicitation and official misconduct is retiring. Indiana State Police said Joshua Cincinnati was also a school resource officer for Anderson Community Schools at the time of the alleged crimes in May of last year. Detectives said a parent told them he was sending inappropriate texts to minors, which court documents identified as teenage boys. The victims told police he would send them money as well. A prosecutor from the Grant County Sheriff's Office is now investigating. And an update tonight. The Delaware County prosecutor is now seeking charges against a Henry County Sheriff's deputy following a deadly crash.
That crash happened in April last year, killing 25-year-old Nicholas Wollum of Muncie.
Now, it all started as a chase in Henry County before crossing into Delaware County and the Muncie city limits. The deputy had tried to stop the driver of a Dodge Dart for a traffic violation and suspicion of impaired driving. That's when the deputy says the driver took off into Delaware County, running a red light and then hitting another car, killing the passenger in the suspect's car.
So now the legal fight is underway. The suspect is now waiting to go trial in March, facing several charges.
And straight to some breaking news right now. There is a situation involving police and emergency crews on I-69 southbound and State Road 38. This is near Pendleton.
Pendleton police now telling 13 News that there is, quote, police activity in the area. We can see that on that camera here right now. We're working to find out what happened, if anyone was hurt, and why all these emergency vehicles are in this area. Keep in mind that is slowing the traffic in that area northeast of downtown Indianapolis along I-69 as we have the evening rush heading home right now at 5:11. Seeking asylum here in the U.S.
The worries some Hoosier families are expressing after an order from President Trump put a pause on refugees, including their loved ones, from entering the country. It's new at 5:30. And first at 5, it's another way Hurricane Helene is still impacting the South.
The increase one North Carolina city expects to find when they take account of their unhoused residents. Plus,
news reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither.
He is one of President Trump's most controversial cabinet picks.
The answers Robert Kennedy Jr. gave members of the Senate as they grilled him on the past statements about vaccines in this country. Next.